Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and mummies, has captivated the world's imagination for centuries. The ancient Egyptians believed in an afterlife and went to great lengths to ensure their dead received a proper burial. This included mummification, a process where the body is preserved to ensure it remains intact for the journey to the afterlife. Over the years, countless mummies have been discovered in Egypt, each with its own unique story to tell. Some are well preserved and provide valuable insight into the life and culture of ancient Egyptians, while others are shrouded in mystery and surrounded by tales of curses and haunted tombs. In this video, we will explore the most terrifying mummies found in Egypt, from the cursed tomb of King Tutankhamun to the mysterious mummies of the 21st dynasty. We will take a closer look at the history and legends surrounding these macabre artifacts. Join us as we uncover the secrets of the most terrifying mummies of Egypt. Mummy of King Tutankhamun. King Tutankhamun, also known as the Boy King or Child King, may not have been a significant ruler during his time, but his mummy became one of the most famous in the world after its discovery in the Valley of the Kings in 1922. His tomb was a true marvel, containing numerous treasures and jewelry that left archaeologists in awe. The most striking of those artifacts was his funerary mask, which was incredibly detailed and made entirely of solid gold. But it wasn't just the treasures within the tomb that made King Tut so famous. His mummy was examined and found to be that of a teenager of about 19 years of age at the time of death. Much debate has arisen about the cause of his death, leading to numerous medical studies and procedures performed on his remains. However, his tomb had been robbed twice in antiquity, but much of it was left intact. In 1925, the unwrapping and examination of Tutankhamun's mummy began, revealing 150 objects, including personal jewelry, weapons, and funerary jewelry and amulets. The mummy was in very poor condition, brittle, and exhibited numerous cracks. The body was disarticulated to remove the pelvis, legs, arms, and head from the coffin and treated with hot paraffin wax to stabilize it. Despite the poor condition of the mummy, the beaded linen skull cap on the head and broad collar on the chest were treated with a layer of wax and left in place. The discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb and mummy sparked widespread interest and curiosity about ancient Egypt. However, it also brought with it a sense of mystique and the so-called mummy curse. It's said that Lord Carnarvon, the financier of the project to open King Tut's tomb, died within days of the tomb's opening due to a mosquito bite, leading many to believe in the curse's validity. While the curse was likely a coincidence, it adds to the intrigue and fascination surrounding King Tut and his mummy to this day. The Mummified Gazelle. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians deeply revered animals and believed that they also had a soul, just like humans? That's why they went to great lengths to mummify not just human beings, but also animals, including pets like gazelles. One such example of this is a mummified gazelle that was the pet of an ancient queen. The queen had a special bond with her loyal companion, and when the gazelle passed away, she ordered that it should be mummified and given a royal burial, just like a human. This mummified gazelle is one of the best preserved examples of an animal mummy from ancient Egypt. The mummification process involves several steps that were designed to preserve the body of the gazelle for eternity. The internal organs were removed, and the body was stuck with natron, a type of salt used by the ancient Egyptians for desiccation. The body was then washed and wrapped in linen bandages, sometimes infused with resin for extra preservation. The eyes and ears of the gazelle were often covered with gold leaf, adding to the aesthetic value of the mummy. The mummified gazelle was then placed in a wooden coffin, which was decorated with elaborate designs and hieroglyphics, and buried in a tomb alongside the queen, where it remained undisturbed for thousands of years. Today, the mummified gazelle can be seen in museums around the world, providing us with a fascinating insight into the beliefs and customs of ancient Egypt. The mummification of the gazelle highlights the significance of animals in ancient Egyptian culture. The gazelle was a common animal in ancient Egypt, hunted for its meat and hide, but this particular gazelle was not just an ordinary animal. Instead, it was a beloved pet and companion, demonstrating the close bond that existed between animals and humans in ancient Egypt. The care and attention given to the mummification process of the gazelle were astounding, showing the technical expertise of the ancient Egyptians and their deep reverence for animals. Sacred crocodile mummies. If there's one thing that makes ancient Egyptian culture stand out, it's our fascination with crocodiles. These creatures were highly revered by the ancient Egyptians, so much so that they even mummified them. The Nile River crocodile, in particular, was considered one of the largest and deadliest species in the world, which made them even more impressive to the ancient Egyptians. They believed that these creatures were sacred animals and used the crocodile mummies to signify the deity Sobek, who was associated with power, strength, fertility, and protection. But what exactly goes into mummifying a crocodile? Well, it's no simple process. First, the internal organs are removed and the body is packed with sand to dry out for several weeks. Then, the body is wrapped in linen and coated with resin. To add to the aesthetic value of the mummy, the eyes and teeth of the crocodile were covered with gold or other precious materials. What's even more fascinating is that the ancient Egyptians recycled papyrus scraps that they had previously written on to stuff the animals, leading to the discovery of previously unknown ancient texts after the initial discovery of these crocodiles. These texts have provided valuable insights into the ancient Egyptian culture, religion, and beliefs. But crocodile mummies weren't just used for religious purposes. They also served as a source of income for the ancient Egyptians. Live crocodiles were captured and raised on farms, where they were later mummified and sold to pilgrims as offerings to the gods. These mummies were also sold to tourists and collectors, who were fascinated by the artistry and skill of the ancient Egyptians. Today, you can find crocodile mummies in various museums around the world, providing us with a glimpse into the rich cultural heritage of ancient Egypt. These mummies not only showcase the technical prowess of the ancient Egyptians, but also reveal their deep religious beliefs and the importance they place on certain animals. So next time you come across a crocodile mummy, remember that it's not just a strange curiosity. It's a testament to an ancient civilization's intricate beliefs and customs. Hatshepsut's mummy. Hatshepsut was the fifth pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, and people consider her one of the most influential women in history, as well as one of Egypt's most prolific rulers. But for a while, nobody knew where she was buried. Many people believed Hatshepsut was resting in peace somewhere in the Valley of the Kings near Luxor. Back in the early 1900s, they actually found a tomb they thought belonged to her. But when they opened the coffin with her name on it, it was empty. And the same thing happened with her father's coffin. Then, they found another tomb called KV60 in 1902. When they opened it, they found two coffins, one with mummified geese and another one with a woman named Sitra In, Hatshepsut's wet nurse. Interestingly, this mummy was famous for her bad teeth. After that, we had no idea where Hatshepsut was buried for about 100 years. But then, some archaeologists were searching for her mummy, and they decided to open a box containing many of her personal items, including a tooth she had lost. They immediately realized they might have found something significant and rushed to match the tooth with the mummy that was found 100 years ago. And guess what? After conducting a DNA test, they found out that the mummy was actually Hatshepsut's. The Regal mummy of Ramses II. It's hard to imagine the power and authority Ramses II must have possessed during his lifetime. He was one of ancient Egypt's most iconic leaders, reigning for an impressively long time and even fathering over 100 children. And yet, despite the challenges of his era, Ramses II lived to be a remarkable 90 years old. When archaeologists discovered Ramses II's mummy in 1881, they were taken aback by its regal appearance. Even in death, Ramses II exuded the same air of power and might that he had during his lifetime. It was a testament to the embalmers who had prepared the body, carefully preserving it for the ages. But years later, in 1974, the condition of the mummy began to rapidly deteriorate, causing great concern among historians and archaeologists. To save the beloved ruler's remains, a decision was made to transport the mummy to Paris for treatment. In a fascinating twist of events, Ramses II was even given an Egyptian passport for the journey, with his occupation listed as King, deceased. And when the mummy arrived in Paris, it was treated with full military honors, a fitting tribute for a ruler who had commanded so much respect and admiration during his reign. To this day, Ramses II's mummy remains an iconic symbol of ancient Egyptian history and culture, a testament to the greatness of a ruler who was respected and admired by many. Mummification of Lady Rai. Lady Rai is truly an amazing mummy, one that has fascinated people for over a century. When you see her in person, It's hard to believe that she lived thousands of years ago. Her well-preserved hair is just one example of how mummification was taken seriously in ancient Egypt. Lady Rai's hair looks like it was grown just a few months ago, which is remarkable considering it's thousands of years old. It's a testament to the embalmers who worked on her body, carefully preserving her for the afterlife. Lady Rai's embalming process was complex and intricate, designed to preserve her body for eternity. Her internal organs were removed, except for her heart, which was believed to be the seat of the soul. The organs were preserved in canopic jars and placed in the tomb with the mummy. The body was then covered in natron, which helped to dry out the tissues, followed by resin to preserve the body and prevent decay. One of the most striking features of Lady Rai's mummification is the embalming incision on the left side of her body. This incision allowed the embalmers to remove her organs and insert the natron and resin. It's incredible to think about how skilled the embalmers were, considering they didn't have modern technology to help them. The embalming plate covering the incision, shaped like a human head and painted to look like Lady Rai's face, is a testament to their artistry. Lady Rai's beauty and well-preserved state didn't go unnoticed when she was first unwrapped in 1909. Grafton Elliott Smith, the anatomist and archaeologist who unwrapped her, declared her to be the most beautiful example of embalming from the 18th dynasty of Egypt. Her jewelry, which would have been placed on her right wrist during the mummification process, unfortunately has been lost to time, leaving only impressions on her skin. In 2009, Lady Rai made history once again when researchers conducted a CT scan of her body and discovered that she suffered from atherosclerosis. This discovery shed new light on the health of ancient Egyptians, suggesting that they may have consumed a diet high in saturated fats. It's incredible to think that even after all these years, Lady Rai is still providing insights into ancient Egyptian culture and the mummification process. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Remember to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and share the video.